Let's not beat around the bush. WoW has been on a downward spiral for a few years now due to numerous reasons, including how easy the game has become and the ridiculous monthly subscription fees, which nowadays doesn't really justify the amount of content those who hit max level receive. I have come up with a short list of 4 ways to make WoW great again. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, subscribe and to show a friend. So let's get started. Number 1. The free-to-play module. WoW's biggest downfall is its pay-to-play module, which is the main reason many don't play the game anymore. You would think that after the success of non-subscription games such as Guild Wars 2, that WoW would have tried to copy that module. To me, adding a free-to-play module would bring the player base to soaring levels again. If they were to implement a system such as what games like Star Wars The Old Republic do, which allows you to play the full game but instances in PvP are limited in a week, and you aren't allowed to customize your HUD fully. They could even follow the Guild Wars 2 module, where they have an in-depth microtransaction where you can either use money in-game to buy a subscription, or to buy a certain currency for an in-game microtransaction auction house, where you can buy cosmetics and temporary buffs for real money. I know most people frown on microtransaction, but if done correctly like Guild Wars 2 does, then it can be the key to reviving WoW. Number 2. 40-man instances. 40-man instances were one of the main reasons people bought vanilla WoW, and it was one of the main reasons WoW was considered the best game for creating new friends. Nowadays it feels hollow and quiet whenever you're in a raid, with barely any talk or conversation. Adding 40-man raids back to the game to me would be a fantastic way to bring back heavy raiding guilds, and I know a lot of people who quit WoW just because there aren't any 40-man raids left, and they would be happy to come back because of that. Imagine a huge raid to face off Sargeras with 40 people involved, rather than these 10 or 25 man versions that we're most likely gonna get. I don't know about you, but having 40 people in a raid just sounds a lot more appeasing than having 10 to 25. Plus, it would force communication, which in my opinion is a huge factor to WoW's downfall. It used to be such a heavy community-based game, but with the state it's in now, it just feels like a hollow shell of its former self. Number 3. The console port. How dare I even mention WoW going to that filth known as console? Well, in all honesty, I'm a big console player, and bringing a port to console would be difficult, but it would be a great way to bring in a new audience who can't play WoW because 1. Their PC isn't good enough, or 2. They've never heard of it, which, strangely, a lot of people don't know about WoW. Games such as Final Fantasy XIV and DC Universe Online are great examples of MMOs on console done right. It's something I would have liked games such as Guild Wars 2 to have done, but if WoW were to jump on this bandwagon before them, then their subscriber base could boom. It's a risk worth taking, but the outcome would be introducing the game to a new generation of players, and possibly one of the only ways to save the game. Now, many of you might argue, it can't work. Well, just take a look at Final Fantasy XIV on PS4, which has a controller-based playstyle for more action-based combat, and if you want, you can plug in your mouse and keyboard into the USB ports to play with them for a more support-based playstyle. There were a few rumours a while back about a WoW-based PvP game for console, but that's still sort of rumours and we can only just speculate about that for now. Finally, number 4, classic servers. Finally, we have something which I have prayed they would do for years. Classic servers. Let me go into detail a bit more. Blizzard can keep their pay-to-play module if they were to introduce a classic server module where you can play the game on any DLC you want. So, say if you want to play vanilla WoW, then you join a vanilla WoW server, and you were sent back to the days before Cataclysm to the original Azeroth. If you want to relive MoP, then there's a server for that as well, where you can play and go up to level 90 and re-explore Pandaria without feeling extremely overpowered. It's a method which I can guarantee you would bring millions back to play, and would give a huge blow to their concerns on the rise of private servers. It's not like they can't do this. I think it would justify the 10 quid I pay every month to play the game, and the same for everyone else, by allowing us to travel back to, these old worlds and old events, and to be able to experience what it used to be like. Yes, it might cost them a lot of money to hire staff to run maintenance and to open these servers for the classic events and so forth, but the payoff would be a potential millions of people coming back to play the game, and even some new people coming in to try it due to them having access to these classic servers. I just pray that Blizzard sort of have talked about this, or that it could be something that could be implemented into the game in upcoming DLC or something, because I just generally think this is a really good idea that could bring a huge chunk of the player base back to WoW, basically. So then, that's my top 4. Quite a weird number to choose, I know. I could have done a top 5, but I couldn't really think of five things to bring WoW back to greatness, really. So I want you guys to leave in the comments section what you think Blizzard can do to bring WoW subscriber count back up, or to make it the great MMO it used to be. And tell me what you think about my top 4, because obviously it was strictly my opinion, and I want to know what you feel about the video in general and my opinion. And if you agree, remember to like and subscribe, like I said at the beginning of the video. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Ta-ra.